Welcome back to the show. Here it comes. Start at 10:12, my friend. 10:12.
That's right. What the hell?
Welcome to the show. Welcome back. We are Ignite Your Purpose. My name is John, JB, Healthy Funky Free. This dude,
Massimo, the other half, the dynamic duo.
we are Ignite Your Purpose.
Yes, we are.
And what do we do, Max?
Well, before I tell you what we do today, we are going to talk about Soto Zen.
Oh,
John had his first experience with us last night.
blown away.
We're going to talk deep about that. We are Ignite Your Purpose. We talk longevity through a healthy lifestyle, a mix of the mental, physical, and spiritual knowledge, the mind, body, soul trifecta, and at its base form, people, negative to positive every day. That's simple.
That's right.
On that note, we want to get deep.
Don't get too deep.
We're not going to get too deep, but there is a little bit of tongue-in-cheek, a little bit of, we call it ball busting in the Italian neighborhoods. John and I are the 10 years in the game. But last night, John was able and was allowed to step into our Soto Zen, into an advanced group that has been studying for
6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years.
There you go.
And Chris is
the big dog
yeah.
who's been 30 years plus.
Yeah.
His lineage goes back 125 years. It's ancient techniques. It's esoteric. It's next level. Now, John is also a meditator. John is also aware. John is a healthy eater.
Iron Man
guy. So
nice
John,
guy.
He's an alright guy.
He's a dude, yeah.
So I want to get into deeper because a lot of people tell me they read books about meditation. They meditate 1 to 2 minutes. I'm not saying this about John. I'm just saying, tell us your feedback coming into a practice like that, a study like that, the energies we did. I don't know if we're going to get into too much of what we did last night because it is other realmly. But please, let them know. Let them know how important a meditation you feel is now even.
Well, as far as my meditation practice goes, sometimes I do it often, sometimes I do it irregularly.
Which is human life.
Which is normal.
Doesn't matter if you're 103 or 15.
But my partner, she knows when I'm meditating and when I'm not. So if someone's to ask me, do you meditate? I say, yeah. I meditate enough, but not enough. I think I'm on day one, week one, as far as meditating goes. But on its most basic level, if we sit down in silence in an environment where we're not going to be distracted by phones or the TV or the kids or the postman or whoever it might be, just sitting in silence is an incredible place to start, and
it really is.
All of us will get benefits from that, because the idea of meditation is to allow us to take in this information and to respond rather than to react. Normally we just, we think.
We're always on our heels reacting instead of breathing and responding
through a fear or lack of understanding, or it's not so familiar with us. But as far as my experience last night goes, I have been in this class, I think maybe 3 times before, but the last occasion was 2 years ago, then 3 years ago, then 4 years ago. And 2, 3, and 4 years ago, I wasn't the person that I am now. I think I've...
by the way, none of us are.
None of us are.
We grow every day, so we don't step into the same river twice, people.
But there was... We had a talk, and the teacher was saying things, and I was spending so much time trying to process what he was saying that I lost all of it. I lost most of it.
Consciously, subconsciously, he remembers it all.
Okay.
And it will come back when it needs to.
And then we did a meditation where we were kneeling, we faced the wall, and it was just about sitting upright in peace without fidgeting. And
John made it through 45 minutes, by the way.
Yeah, I only got whacked once with the stick. And it's interesting because it was explained that we're going to ask you to sit here. The new guys, you can have a little bit of fidgeting, but for the old boys, he had this stick or this baton or this, I'm not too sure what it's called. And we couldn't see it because we were all looking at the walls, and he went, and it sounded badass, ninja level death stick. That would hurt. And a couple of people said afterwards, I was sat there in a bit of fear for if I dropped off. So they were in fear for being hurt and receiving some pain.
Well, and you're in fear because you don't want to do something wrong. Does this sound familiar, people? This is our programming. And I've been there. Still, to this day, I'm there.
But I sat there, I went through the practice for which we were told to concentrate on the periphery, then concentrate on the energy inside and think about the energy in our hands, or are you getting hot or cold, are your shoulders relaxed? And I thought I made it through quite a while, although I couldn't tell you, it might have been 5 or 10 minutes. And I felt myself going, and then across the shoulder. And the great thing was, it wasn't painful. It was just to stimulate us to relax.
And they do it for a reason. It's to wake you back up. It's to release the tension in the muscles, because sometimes when we meditate instead of being, so it feels good. It wakes you back up. Even when somebody else gets hit, as the person who didn't get hit, it even wakes you up because you're in such silence, and then you hear that, you actually get brought back to that exact moment at that exact second.
And so the thing that was both interesting and strange is, for a while, because it was new, I was in that moment, if you want to use those words, or in that state, or I'm thinking about my breathing, I'm thinking about nothing. One statement that was said is, before a thought is nothing. After a thought comes nothing. And so I was able to, this thought or this image or this story or this film or video would come into my mind of something that I would have done before or I will do later. And I thought, you're having a thought, what comes before a thought? Nothing. And I'd snap straight out of it, back into the practice. But I forgot what I was going to say about...
There's so much, man. This got to be processing for weeks. It was a deep class.
This is it. But after the initial newness of it, for meditating for that long period of time, and it wasn't the full 45, and getting the whack, what was interesting is that I felt my body, because it's not getting bombarded and stimulated by all of these externals, whether that's mental, physical, spiritual, TV, video, somebody else, it was like, oh, right, I'm not interested. I'm going to shut down. And I felt myself going, and not 5 seconds later, it was on the back of the shoulder, and that brought me straight back into it for the final part.
And that's also a lesson for us all. John and I, we claim we eat healthy, and I've gone through this lesson. I've shared it with you. I went through this 1 or 2 years ago where my body crashed. But we eat healthy, we exercise, we blah, 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 10 years in the game. But the body never lies. If you allow yourself to be quiet, you listen to the body, it tells you how fatigued you truly are. That's what John experienced. That's what I experienced. So.
Yeah, so that was the big part. It was a surprise that it didn't hurt. It was a surprise that I recognised my body drifting off and being just into its nothingness.
Yeah.
This 0.0001% of consciousness that just drives us back into our habitual routines and behaviours. So that was the biggest part for me.
And then we got into some beautiful ancient. I was going to go into Qigong first.
Okay, Qigong. Yeah.
Qigong. Then we did that. Yeah. Now, Qigong. I'm sure there's so many versions of watered down. Again, this form, which is an invite-only class, basically, right, is 7-generation lineage back to the ancient Japanese ways. So Jean was able to do it's a 7-step form of beginner Qigong, and kind of take us through that. How was that for you? You've done some Qigong, right?
Yeah,
online. I don't know if it was the same because I've never done any other type of
I was
Qigong.
helping a friend move house and I saw this Qigong book or Tai Chi book, so I went, I'm having that because I've heard about it, I've never done it, and so I'd had a basic introduction. I found a couple of YouTube videos with some guys who
practice Qigong.
And there's a 10-minute practice and a 20-minute practice. And whilst doing that, I felt energized and I felt just warmth flowing up and down my arms and my legs. But to do it with the group, I think was
next level, right?
It was next level, and to meditate for 45 minutes on my own.
So there's the process. We meditated for 45. We went into Qigong, all in an advanced group. Yep. Then we went into the next energy work.
But the Qigong is to stand there in a room on your own trying to follow a video, it was quite challenging and demoralizing because you'll be critiquing yourself all the time. But by just being in a room and seeing 5 or 6 or 8 other people,
and we all make mistakes.
Yeah, everybody's doing it differently.
Yeah.
It's not perfect because we all have different length
There you
arms
go.
and
Soreness and
different abilities in our wrists or our knees. But it was just kind of harnessing, shedding and releasing, I think, is the general idea behind Qigong.
Oh yeah, you're sucking in energy.
In energy and releasing, creating space.
Yeah.
So we did that, and then the final exercise, and we had little chats in between of these, was a harnessing. Was it just harnessing your
life force, your chi? It's your chi energy. Yeah.
And what did you call this place?
It's Dian Tian breathing.
Dian Tian.
And yeah, so we breathe through down here, and there's a bunch of stuff, but that is pretty next level. And so kind of go into that one. You probably had some epiphanies.
So again, it's a meditation, but it's a guided meditation by the teacher, and we start. Is it here, left on top or right, or anyway?
Start here,
and then
over top,
and it's basically creating a ball, and it starts with imagining that your Dian Tian is about 4 fingers below your belly button, and it's the source of your chi, of your energy, of your life force, and it's. And
it's where we pull the life force in from the universe.
And so sitting in a comfortable position, whether that's kneeling or cross-legged or whatever it is for you, you imagine a pilot light in there, like in a gas cooker or on the stove, and you're just focusing on this pilot light, and then thinking about different areas of the body, and then we're gradually turning up the gas and imagining it in as
through this style of breathing, which is how you do this. It's not through thought.
Yeah.
This is not linear. This is not mental. This is right side brain thinking. This is abstract. This is of other realm, I would say, right?
So it's a procedure, a process, a guided meditation, and for which we visualize this ball of gas or ball of energy. And you might be looking in the first person, in the third person. Yours might be yellow, mine might be white, yours might be red. It's just
Purple,
this
pink.
big ball of energy. And as we go through this process, our hands are here, and we can feel, or I can feel this energy, and it's almost like a magnet ebbing and flowing, somebody turning up and turning down the dial. And when you become more tuned in and you're more focused on it, you feel the energy growing, and then as your mind becomes more distracted, it comes in.
And then you use this to also kind of heal yourself and work things out.
You send this energy to
clean
certain
yourself.
areas of the body or the mind, and cleansing, regenerating your thinking, your emotions, your cells, your
structure.
So all in all, mind blowing, absolutely mind blowing, and it was incredible. It is
just even the words of wisdom that came out of the mouth, right?
Just being in the room with the teacher. His calmness, his strength. He looks incredible for his age, double incredible, and I'm sure this is because he has nurtured his body and focused on his health of his body and his mind for so long.
Amen. I agree with that one.
I'm sure he does things differently to I do, differently to Max, and we've all got different diets because there's 7.5 billion different people, so we're not the same.
No.
But I think if you were to look at the common factors, if we look at the common ground between the 3 of us, or the 10 of us, or the 20 of us, our common ground is the same. Being
and that's the main thing.
Being kind to the body, not putting too many poisons in the body, resting, recovering, taking some exercise, eating well, not adding in the poison, staying away from environments and people that drain your energy. So that's my experience of class, and I am disappointed to be leaving next Wednesday to miss class. And
we'll make it happen.
And certainly in the future when we come back, which we do, we intend to, I will have class vaguely planned around our dates, or our dates around the class. Unless I can persuade my wife to move out of here, but maybe the summers. Maybe we come out for the summers.
Why not? In general, people, it's just something for you to think about. Beginner meditation, beginner Soto Zen. and beginner Qigong for us all. Even if you're 55 years in the game, we're still all beginners. Even if you're 2 minutes into the game, we're a beginner. So we're all the same playing field because we really don't know what's going on in this beautiful multiverse that we live in.
Yep.
But it is beneficial for the human mind.
So what we can do is we'll dig a couple of links
Damn straight.
to a couple of people that, they're not anybody that we particularly follow or have critiqued their style, but it will give you an introduction to what is Qigong, what is meditation. In fact, we're just about to record the first of our 3-part introductory course this afternoon.
Free course.
Yeah, mini course.
Because we love you
free
so much.
mini course on how to think, move, and eat, or
For
different
beginners.
ways of thinking, moving, and eating for beginners. So that'll get banged out this afternoon. We'll do some editing.
I like the word bang it out.
Bang it out.
Bang it out.
Bang it out.
On that note, beautiful people, we thank you for your time. Thank you for the listens, the shares, the love, the likes. Grow with us, and we will see you tomorrow.
Thank you. Bye-bye. 16 minutes.
Holy shit, 16 minutes.
That's some serious amount of downloading to do.